Welcome to your weekly sidereal forecast for August 17th through the 23rd. My name is Athen. So we had the new moon last weekend, and that was starting off some new beginnings here in your second house of values, resources, finances. And so now this week, certainly energy for you to continue to move forward with any new intentions or inspirations that you were inspired about over the weekend and going into this week. So with that being said, Venus is going to be trining up to Uranus this week. We have a square from Saturn, so there is that continued importance of discipline here, which I'll talk about. Yeah, it looks like a week of growth. The crescent phase is about taking action, and the end of the week will be very active going into the following week in regards to the second house matter. So first of all, with Venus, I think you guys have been reflecting on your values for quite some time with her retrograde position there. Continuing to restructure anything in that value, material, financial side of things. Really, your sense of self-worth is going through a restructuring at the moment. But there's this newfound sense of inspiration about it, which is fantastic and great. So continuing with that, expressing your values, enjoying your values, the simple pleasures of life. Finding with that Venus retrograde, remembering to stay balanced, of course, with the financial stuff, but I don't think that's too much of an issue, generally speaking, because your ruler is the sun here in dignity, your ruler of that second house, I mean, and you're going to have a conjunction here between that sun and Jupiter going into next week, which is quite nice. But yeah, that's going to be the gist, and this whole week we've got Venus trining up to Uranus Monday through Friday, which is going to be probably the strongest emphasis. The strongest that you guys with the lunar cycle are starting to gain energy, gain momentum. But in terms of excitement, in terms of new things coming in, this is coming in from the area that has to do with expansion, travel, possibilities, overseas matters, technology, even when it's Uranus in that ninth house. So whatever it's been about mixing up your perspective on life and philosophy and, really listening to that intuition that is guiding you, all of that can be very exciting, and there can be some opportunities coming in of the financial and material sense, maybe just to enjoy yourself a little bit more on that material level, the simple pleasures. It's still a very good time for those things. And yeah, and then also Venus does rule your 11th house of friendship, so maybe something new shaping up there with your perspective or friends, groups, community-related ideas, as well as home and family. Maybe some things shifting up for you there as well this week, since Venus rules your fourth. So that's going to be the work week pretty much, and then Mercury is going to be opposing up to Chiron this middle part of the week. So Chiron's finishing up that transit of your ninth, well, at least temporarily, while he goes back into your eighth house, where you'll be doing some more healing like you have been for the past few years. And this is about the deeper side of life. It's about transformation and change, which has been very important for you to trust and go with the flow in regards to the transformations of life, which has been Neptune. But all of that will continue to be very healing, actually. So in other words, the key here with this is because I think you guys will naturally be thinking a lot about the material, simple pleasures, enjoyments, or finances. You want to balance this with the eighth house, and this is where it's everything non-material, non-physical. And so Neptune here has been showing you how to trust, how to have faith, how to depend on others a little bit in that sense, and how that can be, helping you go with the flow and take it easy in regards to that, if that's the case for you personally. But yeah, there's a balance here where it's not all too much just about our own passions about our values and things. It's also balancing that with the deeper side of life. So remembering that, and I think you'll find that very healing this week while you're thinking about those things. And do remember too that while there is this very practical side of life, which is where your mind is slowly going to start to shift into as Mercury starts to transit into your third house. There is this expansive part of life. There is these possibilities and things. So I think the key with that is, while it is a very perhaps busy time for you, especially with Mars in your first house, there's a lot of this practical kind of energy. I think just remembering the more spiritual energies will be important. And then naturally through that, it will unlock the mind, and then there'll be a healing of the mind. And then this sort of shift going into Saturday about you really becoming very sharp and analytical and practical about things. And that's really good, because your North Node has been transiting your third house for the past couple of years, which is like this underlying current of importance for you guys to really get practical and real, and to take all that spiritual stuff and turn it into something tangible, something you can understand, you can write, you can conceptualize. This is the rational part of the chart. So that's going to be the heavy emphasis next week. But that shift this week, I think you can learn quite a bit about those things as well. So just remembering the balance between the practical and expansive possibilities will be a good way of incorporating these energies. So that's pretty much the gist. Saturn is going to be squaring up to the Sun this later part of the week, Thursday through Saturday. So with you guys, if you guys have been putting in recently, again, any hard work with family or with home or constructive sort of foundations in life, continue with that this week. You stay balanced with it to square up to your Sun. So if you're feeling like, this material financial side of things is expanding, that's great. Just remember that maybe there are some long-term things that need to be taken care of on the foundational sense about home, family, or just in your emotional body, that emotional discipline, which will help you construct and stay very balanced and grounded with that second house. Because as you can see, it's a nice part of your chart. Leo, we have the Sun in dignity conjuncting up to Jupiter, but I'm mentioning a lot of this balancing and staying grounded because we have oppositions, as you can see, and a square from Saturn. So it's a nice part of the chart, but it is, there are some precautions, some things to remember to do here. And this is mostly of the nature, especially with Saturn, of not going to any extremes and working at it one step at a time, constructive. Remember, we're still in the very beginning phases of this lunar cycle to stay long term. This can also be just new beginnings over the next 6 months. It'll be new beginnings for this next 30 days, but over the next 6 months is the long-term picture. So remembering that, but still expansive, especially next week. We'll have this conjunction between the Sun and Jupiter, and a couple other things as well. Continue with that motivation, drive. Physical energy is very good for you Cancers right now, actually. And that's the gist of this week. So have a nice one, Cancer. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you're new to Sidereal, do check the link down below. And if you haven't checked your true Sidereal chart, do check the description for a unique chart calculator for that. So have a good one. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you all next time.